Welcome back to a new journey with me. I am Victor Drummond, journalist and advertiser. Today we will visit the Victor and Albert Museum, one of my favorites in London. We're gonna visit today Victor and Albert Museum. This stunning place is the world's largest museum of applied and decorative arts and design. As the signage says, all those damage and bullet holes on these walls were results of the bombing attack by the Germany during the Second World War. Maintaining those sad marks is important to remind us that the war isn't worth it. It's just about power, disputes, vanity, destructions and deaths. These walls show that's better to promote and keep the peace. Victor and Albert Museum was founded in 1852 and named after Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, and one of its first names was South Kensington Museum. V&A, as it's known by the community, has loads of sculptures, housing a permanent collection of over 2.27 million objects. But today I will concentrate our visiting in the fashion room, in the silver and iron collections, and in the tapestry. Here in the fashion rooms with a lot of stories related to the Britain, to the UK fashion, and fashion of another stylist that has worked here or that has launched their own brands here, or that maybe have had influenced as well the local fashion, the British fashion. In this showcase you can see an evening dress made by Valentino and a purse by Money. Popular brands are important to tell the fashion history, like this black dress by Topshop, as well as the haute couture. The good taste of John Galliano to Christian Dior is an important record of the luxury behavior of a people. The pop and street fashion is in the whole Great London. It reflects its diversity and modernity, and a look always ahead of time. Vivienne Westwood is an icon on British fashion. As the mother of the punk movement, she really changed the way we dress. This style is a deconstructing fashion, an anti-establishment, androgynous and improvised. From 1940s to 1960s, we had a period for the pursuit of perfection. After the Second World War, the production of couture became important to the economy recovery and prestige for both France and Britain. Designers such as Dior and Givenchy became household names. And about the fashion and industry from 1850 to 1870. In the 19th century, fashion benefited from advances in technology. The development of spring steel led to the invention of the cage crinoline. This frame of light, strong steel wire, replaced heavy layers of petticoats, and women's dress became even more voluminous. The wonderful ceramic staircase, built between 1865 and 1871, perfectly embodies Henry Cole's mission, the museum's first director. The staircase was designed by Francis Wollaston Moody, a member of staff in the museum's design studio, and a lecturer in the adjoining School of Art. From the terracotta architectural decoration outside to the tiling and sculpture inside, the use of ceramics throughout the building was chosen to demonstrate the material's versatility and provide a rich backdrop for the objects on display. The British people have always been known to receive their guests impeccably. In this section of the VA, you'll see beautiful pieces of dining appliances, like this one that belonged to the Tudors dynasty and to a lot of aristocratic families and royal members. Those pieces were used during the Tudors banquet. Ewers and basins dressed the dining room and were functional objects for washing the diner's hands, as well as displaying the host's wealth and status. During the King James II's coronation banquet, a large quantity of silver was assembled on the table and sideboard. Plates and knives were set on the table, and the buffet held flagons, glasses, silver, salts, cruets, plates and dishes. Take a look in how magnificent are those pieces for toilet service, such a chic lavabo. A little peek out of the window to admire the museum's internal gardens. It's a nice place to get a break for coffee. This magnificent mute swan centerpiece by Asprey, made in 1985, is one of the stars of the Gilbert collection. Life-size, naturalistic, and exquisitely handcrafted, the swan perfectly demonstrates the continued skill of London goldsmiths in the late 20th century. Wait there, I have a lot more treasures to show you, like those silver jewels or silver toys for the children. I always think about the division of wealth. Returning to the dining during the 18th century, eating was an occasion for display and costly silver the ideal medium. Dinners were served à la française, the many different dishes laid out before the dinner sat down. I don't need all the dinner settings, but this wine cooler could be nice as a centerpiece on my table. Just a quick look on this marvelous modern and some art decor silver stuff. You definitely need to see them personally. At V&A you can see plenty of crowns and jewels, but it's a chapter for another video. Before we come in on the tapestry room, let's contemplate the perfection of this grand piano, stained and decorated with gold and silver, that belonged to the Edward Burne-Jones. This gallery contains part of the museum's world-famous collection of medieval tapestries, including the Devonshire hunts. Tapestry is one of the oldest forms of woven textiles. For centuries, these beautiful objects were among the most magnificent possessions of the kings, princes and popes. The King Henry VIII spent 1 year of his incomes to buy a collection from a duke of his court. The Devonshire hunting tapestries are 4 very large and beautifully designed tapestries, made between 1430 to 1450, depicting hunting scenes of boars, bears, swans, otters, deer and falconry. Very few tapestries of his scale and quality of design have survived. Let's continue our tour at the museum. As the Victorian Albert is the largest museum of decorative art in the world, you need to have time and energy to explore its more than 150 rooms. So you don't waste time just walking randomly by this huge place that looks like a palace. We are arriving at the last part of our tour, the Metalwork Gallery. It's an immense corridor with everything you can imagine made in metal. It's a true journey in the history and a learning experience about the importance of respecting the memories of the past. Victorian Albert waits for you.